one of the best and most original financial finance books in years. Jason Jewick, Wall Street Journal, Wall Street Police, sorry, Wall Street Journal. Let's start, okay? Okay, boss. Oh, hello, hello, hello. What's up, guys? What's up? Let's start, okay? Okay, baby. Okay. Oh my god, it's no one's crazy. Luck and risk, yes? Never enough. Confounding, compounding. Getting wealthy versus staying wealthy. Tells you win. Introduction, okay, introduction. I'm gonna read introduction. You guys just listen carefully, okay? I spent my college years working as a valet at a nice hotel in Los Angeles. One frequent guest was a technology executive. He was a genius, having designed and patented a key component in Wi-Fi routers in his 20s. He had started and sold several companies. He was wildly successful. He also had a relationship with money I would describe as a mix of insecurity and childish stupidity. He carried a stack of $100 bills several inches thick. He showed it to everyone who wanted to see it and many who didn't. He bragged openly and loudly about his wealth, often while drunk and always apropos of nothing. Apropos भनेको के रहेछ हेर त जेसुकै होस् हेर न हौ किन हेर्नु त छिटो न एपीपी APRO aprops APRO POS PO yes मैले यस्तो देखियो एउटा गलत खोइ पेन र उयो दिएको कहाँ पुग्यो यो मान्छेले इज्जत छैन यार प्रस्ताव प्रस्ताव एप्रोप्स भनेको प्रस्ताव अब न्यू साइकोलोजी अफ मनी भनेर लेख्न पर्यो नि यस Oh my god. Hello, 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 hello. Hello. Ray Tapa Mugger. Welcome. Thank you for like. Where are you from? 11 million people in my house, 10 million people in my house. Okay. PHY. PSY. CHOLOGY. 9 million people in my house and 1 million like. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. PSY त के हुन्छ PS त फिजी हुन्छ नि साइको PSY पनि त हुन्छ नि साइको PSY CHO साइको हुन्छ तर PSY त साइको हुँदैन होला फी हुन्छ होला फिजिकल लाइक त्यस्तो टाइपको अनि ब्र्याग्ड पनि गर त 3 million people in my house bragged BRAGGED props of nothing BRAGGED bragged show off गर्नु होला घमण्ड गरे bragged घमण्ड bragged भनेको नि घमण्ड
आफ्नो प्रशंसा गर्नु अरे।
ब्राग गरेको घमण्ड आफैले आफ्नै उयो गर्नु टाइपको भयो नि त 4 million people in my house. Okay, he carried a brag on. One day, he handed one of my colleagues several $1,000 of cash and said, "Go to the jewelry store down the street and get me a few 1,000 dollar gold coins." An hour later, gold coins in hand, the tech executive and his buddies gathered around by a dock overlooking the Pacific Ocean. They then proceeded to throw the coins into the sea, skipping them like rocks, cackling as they argued whose went furthest. भनेको के रहेछ furthest भनेको चाहिँ furthest FUR. Hello, hello. THEST.
THEST ए फर्दरको फर्देस्ट हो नि AFUR होइन
FUR THEST. Cackling as they argued whose went furthest. को चाहिँ
सबैभन्दा टाढा के फारको
furthest भनेको फारको चाहिँ furthest. Welcome. Just for fun अरे कि सुनको कोइन चाहिँ फालिरहेको थियो अरे फनको लागि मात्रै त्यति धेरै पैसा. Days later, he shattered a lamp in the hotel's restaurant. A manager told him it was a $500 lamp and he would have to replace it. You want $500? The executive asked incredulously. Incredulously भनेको नि हेर त.
IN
CRE
CRE
DU
DU
LOU
LOU
SLY.
अविश्वसनीय रूपमा
The executive asked incredulously, while pulling a brick of gas from his pocket and handing it to the manager. "Here's $5,000. Now get out of my face, and don't ever insult me like that again." You may wonder how long this behavior could last, and the answer was not long. I learned years later that he went broke अरे त्यसरी धेरै घमण्ड गर्नु पनि के हो त धेरै उयो नै भएन. The premise of this book is that doing well with money has a little to do with how smart you are and a lot to do with how you behave. पैसालाई जस्तो खालको बिहेभ गर्छौ तिमीले त्यस्तै खालको पैसाले पनि तिमीसँग त्यस्तै खालको बिहेभ गर्छ. एन्ड बिहेभियर इज हार्ड टु टिच. अनि बानी बेहोरा चाहिँ सिकाउन एकदमै गाह्रो कुरा हो. इभन टु रियली स्मार्ट पिपल. राम्रो छैन तिम्रो लेख भन्ने ठाउँ लेख्दैनौ. प्रिमाइस भनेको नि लेख अब त्यसो भए PREMIS premise of this book. PREMIS.
आधार
The premise of this book is that doing well with money has a little to do with how smart you are and a lot to do with how you behave. A genius who loses control, who loses control of their emotions can be a financial disaster. जिनियसले पनि यदि कन्ट्रोल इमोसन्समा कन्ट्रोल राख्न सकेन भने के हुन्छ त फाइनेन्सियल डिजास्टर आउन सक्छ. द अपोजिट इज अल्सो ट्रु. Ordinary folks with no financial education can be wealthy if they have handful of behavioral skills that have nothing to do with formal measures of intelligence. My favorite Wikipedia entry begins: Ronald James Reed was an American philanthropist, investor, janitor and gas station attendant. Hello, hello, Narmaya Limbu. Welcome, welcome. Ronald Reed was born in rural Vermont. Vermont भनेको के रहेछ Vermont. Born in यहाँ Vermont भनेको उयो होला त्यही पनि गर त VER
भी हो
VERMONT.
BERMONT बर्मन्ट यहाँ त होइन
MONT.
BERMONT तर आएन त
रुरल भनेको उयो गाउँमा जन्मेको भनेको क्या
रुरल भनेको त उसो अविकसित
अविकसित भर्मन्ट भन्ने ठाउँ होला. He was the first person in his family.
अमेरिकाको एउटा ठाउँको नाम छ यहाँ त
भर्मन्ट भनेको graduate high school made all the more impressive by the fact that he
ग्रामीण के ग्रामीण
ग्रामीण yes hitchicked भनेको के हो यो hitchicked
के स्पेलिङ
HIT
HIT
CHHI
CHH
I
KING
KED
SIKED हिर्काइएको अरूको सवारी साधन सित्तैमा लिफ्ट मागेर यात्रा गर्नु वा लिफ्ट मागेर यात्रा गरे भूतकाल भनिन्छ हिर्काइएको अर्थमाथि चाहिँ
क्याम्पस इज डे अरे कि जहिले क्याम्पसमा फर दोज
तर उसमा चाहिँ तलमा चाहिँ ओभरभ्यूमा चाहिँ अर्थ चाहिँ लिफ्ट मागेर यात्रा गरिएको भनेको
जहिले क्याम्पस जाँदाखेरि चाहिँ त्यसरी लिफ्ट मागेर जाने मान्छे रहेछ कि
तर माथि पनि हिर्काएको छ त
For those
अब के लेख्ने
For those who knew Ronald Reed अब एउटा सबै लेखन मिलाएर थोरै सर्ट फर्म बुझ्ने तरिकाले There wasn't much else worth mentioning. His life was about as low key as they come. Reed fixed cars at a gas station for 25 years and swept floors at Jessipini for 17 years. He bought a 2-bedroom house for $12,000 at age 38 and lived there for the rest of his life. He was widowed at age 50 and never remarried. A friend recalled that his main hobby was chopping firewood. Reed died in 2014, aged 92, which is when the humble rural janitor made international headlines. 2,813 503 Americans died in 2014. Fewer than 4,000 of them had a net worth of over 8 million. When they passed away, Ronald Reed was one of them. 2-bedroom को घर किनेर बसेको मान्छेको $8 million भन्दा बढी. In his will, the former janitor left $2 million to his stepkids and more than $6 million to his local hospital and library. 2 million चाहिँ आफ्नो stepkidsहरूलाई दिएर 6 million चाहिँ local hospital र libraryलाई दिएछ. Those who knew Reed were baffled भनेको चाहिँ के रहेछ BAFFLED. Those who knew Reed were baffled. Where did he get all that money? कहाँबाट चाहिँ त्यत्रो पैसा पायो अरे? It turned out there was no secret. There was no lottery win and no inheritance. Reed saved what little he could and invested it in blue chip stocks. Then he waited for decades on end as tiny savings compounded into more than $8 million. अहिले हामीले SIP जुन गरिरहेछ नि compounding interest भनेको त्यही हो कि. यत्रो पैसा कहाँबाट कमायो त्यसले? त्यति जब गरेर भन्ने खालको कुराहरू आउँदाखेरि चाहिँ उसले ब्लु चिपमा उयो गर्दो रहेछ स्टक्सहरूमा चाहिँ लगानी गरेर त्यो पैसालाई चाहिँ त्यतिकै छोडिदिँदो रहेछ क्या अनि त्यही चिज चाहिँ कम्पाउन्ड भएर बस्दो रहेछ है अनि द्याट्स इट फ्रम जेनेटर टु फिलान्थ्रोपिस्ट
अनि हामीले के 2 वर्ष 3 वर्ष भनेको त सेमी कम्पाउन्ड इन्ट्रेस्ट जस्तै
त्यो चाहिँ त्यो तिनजलमा कतिसम्म हुँदो रहेछ त्यहाँबाट हामीले गेस गर्न सकिन्छ नि त अर्को अर्को राख्ने कति राख्ने भन्ने कुरा चाहिँ
कम्पाउन्ड इन्ट्रेस्ट सेमी भनेको कति वर्ष यस्तो हुन्छ नि
अब 3 इयर्समा चाहिँ अब हुन्छ नि 1 वर्ष 2 वर्षमा त केही थाहै हुँदैन अनि जब 3 इयर्सदेखि मासतिर भएपछि चाहिँ कति हुने रहेछ त्यस पछाडि यति वर्ष राख्यो भने चाहिँ यति हुन्छ र हामीले जस्ट गेस गर्न सकिन्छ नि त त्यो चाहिँ हुनु पऱ्यो कि
कहिले चाहिँ बढ्न पनि सक्छ घट्न पनि सक्छ नि
घट्ने भन्दा पनि अब कम्पाउन्डिङ भएपछि त बढ्नु पऱ्यो नि त हामीले लगानी कति गरेको थियो बढेर त्यो कति भएको छ भन्ने कुरा त हामीले त्यो थाहा पाउनु परेन त
जतिको त्यति त हुँदैन होला है
फिलान्थ्रोपिस्ट भनेको के रहेछ त्यो पनि हेर त फिलान्थ्रोपिस्ट एफएचआई
पिएचआई कि एफएलआई
पिएचआई एलए
एलए
एन
टिएचआरओपिआइएसटी
फिलान्थ्रोपिस्ट
थेरापिस्ट पो भन्दो रहेछ त परोपकारी
भनेको अर्काको सेवा गर्ने होइन त परोपकारी भनेको 3 million people in my house. Welcome everyone. Please do listen what I'm reading, okay, guys? Stay calm and परोपकारी.
मानव प्रेमी हैन.
A few months before Ronald Reed died, another man named Richard was in the news. Richard Foscon was everything Ronald Reed was not. A Harvard deducted Merrill Lynch executive with an MBA. Foscon had such a successful career in finance that he retired in his 40s to become a philanthropist. Former Merrill CEO in his 40s to become a philanthropist. Former Merrill CEO David Kamansky praised Foscon's business savvy, leadership skills, sound judgment, and personal integrity. Crane's Business magazine once included him in a 40 under 40 list of successful business people. But then, like the gold coin skipping tech executive, everything fell apart. In the mid 2000s, Foscon borrowed heavily to expand an 18,000 square foot home in Greenwich, Connecticut that had 11 bathrooms, 2 elevators, 2 pools, 7 garages, and cost more than $90,000 a month to maintain. Then, the 2008 financial crisis hit. The crisis hurt virtually everyone's finances. It apparently turned Fuscons into dust. High debt and illiquid assets left him bankrupt. I currently have no income, he allegedly told the bankruptcy judge in 2008. First, his Palm Beach house was foreclosed. In 2014, it was the Greenwich Manson's turn. 5 months before Ronald Reed left his fortune to charity. Richard Foscon's home, where guests recall the thrill of dining and dancing atop a see-through covering on the home's indoor swimming pool, was sold in a foreclosure auction for 75% less than an insurance company figured it was worth. Thank you for a like. Ronald Reed was patient, Richard Foscom was greedy. Ronald Reed was patient, Richard Foscom was greedy. That's all it took to eclipse eclipse the massive education and experience gap between the two. The lesson here is not to be more like Ronald and less like Richard, though that's not bad advice. The fascinating thing about these stories is how unique they are to finance. In what other industry does someone with no college degree, no training, no background, no formal experience, and no connections massively outperform someone with the best education, the best training, and the best connections? I struggle to I struggle to think of any. It is impossible to think of a story about Ronald Reed performing a heart transplant better than a Harvard trained surgeon, or designing a skyscraper superior to the best trained architects. There will never be a story of janitor outperforming the world's top nuclear engineers. 4 million people in my house and 2 million likes. Thank you so much. But these stories do happen in investing. The fact that Ronald Reed can coexist with Richard Foscom was two explanations. One, financial outcomes are driven by luck. कुमारी हो क्या त्यहाँ नि कोर्नुपर्छ त इन्डिपेन्डेन्ट अफ इन्टेलिजेन्स एन्ड इफोर्ट
यस्तो यस्तोमा पनि कोर्न मन लाग्छ नि
द्याट्स ट्रु किन बिगार्नु चाहिँ तिमीलाई खुब मजा आउँछ कि क्या
पहिला पहिला टापीमा राम्रै राम्रो केटी भयो टापी लिन्थेँ भने गाजर लाउने लिपस्टिक लाउने
त्यो चाहिँ jealousy हो क्या त्यो चाहिँ outcomes are driven by luck and this book will discuss it in further detail. Or two, and I think soft skill where you how you behave is more important than what you know. How you behave अरे पैसालाई तिमीले कस्तो बिहेभ गर्छौ चाहिँ त्यो चाहिँ इम्पोर्टेन्ट छ अरे तिमीलाई के थाहा छ भन्दा पनि तिमीले कस्तो खालको बिहेभ गर्छौ त्यो चिजलाई भन्ने कुरा पनि भर पर्छ I call this soft skill the psychology of money. The aim of this book is to use short stories to convince you that soft skills are more important than the technical side of money. I'll do this in a way that will help everyone from read to first gun and everyone in between make better financial decisions. Okay, bro.
आजलाई तिमी
के को यति नै हो र भर्खर कति भयो र 23 मिनट्स भएको छ त्यो पनि हामी गफ धेरै गरिरहेछौँ पढ्ने भन्दा नि आज These soft skills are, I have come to realize, greatly underappreciated. Finance is overwhelmingly taught as a math based field where you put data into a formula and the formula tells you what to do. यसको त लेटर पनि ठुल्ठुलो छ Finance is overwhelmingly taught as overwhelmingly पनि लेखा त अब पढ्न त पढिराखेकै हो यो तर सुनिराखेकै भए पनि गाह्रै छ ओभरवेलमिङली भन्ने किन छैन त
WHELMING
HELMINGLY
भारी
Finance is overwhelmingly taught as a math-based field where you put data into a formula and the formula tells you what to do and it's assumed that you will just go do it. This is true in personal finance where you are told to have a 6-month emergency fund and save 10% of your salary. It's true in investing, where we know the exact historical correlations correlations between interest rates and valuations. And it's true in corporate finance, where CFOs can measure the precise cost of capital. It's not that any of these things are bad or wrong. It's that knowing what to do tells you nothing about what happens in your head when you try to do it. It's not that any of these things are bad or wrong. It's that knowing what to do tells you nothing about what happens in your head when you try to do it. Two topics impact everyone, whether you were interested in them or not: health and money. The healthcare industry is a triumph of modern science with rising life expectancy across the world. Scientific discoveries have replaced doctors' old ideas about how the human body works, and virtually everyone is healthier because of it. The money industry, investing, personal finance, business planning is another story. Finance has scooped up the smartest minds coming from top universities over the last 2 decades. Financial engineering was the most popular major in Princeton's School of Engineering a decade ago. Is there any evidence it has made us better investors? I have seen none. Through collective trial and error over the years, we learned how to become better farmers, skilled plumbers, and advanced chemists. But has trial and error taught us to become better with our personal finance? Are we less likely to bury भनेको बोझ होइन त, ourselves in debt? Are we less likely to bury ourselves in debt? Bury भनेको बोझ जस्तै ल मलाई चाहिँ. Thank you so much. Hello brother, hello. ए मेरो
बिउ आएर गाड्नु
उम्,
गाड्नु हुँदो गाड्नु
यस माई ब्रदर, सन्चै हुनुहुन्छ?
को ब्रदर
मेरो एकदम ठिक छ. म त यतातिर टाइम पास गरिरहेको छु है, यतातिर टाइम पास गरिरहेको छु.
गाड्नु अरे बढी
मेरो ठिकै छ, हजुरको सुनाउनुहोस्. नि अब के गर्नु त, अब टिकटकमा अब खासै केही हुनु छोडो, त्यही भएर यसो युट्युबतिर केही होला कि भनेर नि हो ब्रदर. के छ नि हजुरको हालखबर? भेटघाट पनि छैन, कता बिजी हुनुहुन्छ? अरे फेरि यो नाइट बोर्ड किन राखेको छु मैले? ए के गर्दै हुनुहुन्छ हौ? हजुर खाना खाइवरी अब एकछिन यसो टाइम पास गर्दै, अब आधी घन्टा जति यस्तै टाइम पास गर्नु पऱ्यो, अनि सुत्नु पऱ्यो, भोलिबाट फेरि अफिस कुद्नु पऱ्यो भनेर. अनि चुनावमा उतातिर जानुहुन्छ कि नाइ, नुवाकोटतिर? ए ए ए ए, ओके छ त त्यसो भए त नत्र यसो जानुहुन्न भने यसो शनिबारतिर भेटघाट गरौँ कि भनेर नि। Three million people in my house. Welcome everyone, and 3 million likes. Thank you so much. 'दिनेशजी स्याल हल्ला गर्दैमा त स्कार्फ ब्रान्च' के भन्नुभयो र ब्रदर यो? दिनेशजीले के गर्नुभयो? कि उहाँ पनि चुनावमा उठ्नु भयो र? ए ओके ब्रदर, भइहाल्छ नि। हजुर फ्री भएको बेलामा यसो खबर पाऊँ न, म आइहाल्छु नि। ए यहाँ बोलाउँछु भन्नुभयो? उहाँलाई नि सब्सक्राइब गर्न लगाइदिइहाल्ने है क्या ब्रदर? हेलो हजुर, हेलो हेलो। हजुर के यो उयसमा चुनावमा उठ्नु भएको हो र हजुर पनि? अनि आजभोलि हाम्रो जीवन ब्रदर यता टिकटकतिर लाइभ बस्नुहुन्न र? यो हो र? त्यही भएर हजुरको उयोले नआएको रहेछ नि। मैले यसो विचार गर्दैछु, पोस्ट पनि आउँदैन आजभोलि, नाम पनि अर्को अर्कै के राख्नु भएको हो खै, चिन्नै गाह्रो। हेलो हेलो। ए डिएक्टिभेटै गर्नुभएको छ? ए त्यही भएर पो रहेछ त। तर ठिकै छ। अब बिजनेस पर्पजको लागि चलाउने भए चाहिँ ठिकै हो, नभए खासै रमाइलो मात्रैको लागि चलाउनु चाहिँ ठिक होइन जस्तो लाग्यो मलाई नि। अब बिस्तारै मनी अहिले कम 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 गर्दैछु पोस्टहरू। दिनेश ब्रदर सन्चै हुनुहुन्छ हजुर? हो र भन्दै मात्रै हुनुहुन्छ त। कन्टेन्ट सन्टेन्ट केही नभए पनि टिकटक मोनिटाइज गर्नुतिर लागिरहेको छु म। थ्याङ्क यू फर यर प्रिसेन्स। अति गर्नुभयो र रमाइलो। रमाइलो सँगसँगै उयोहरू पनि धेरै उडाउनु भयो हजुरहरूले चाहिँ। मैले त त्यस्तो साह्रो त केही पनि गरिनँ। जस गफ गाफ चाहिँ धेरै गरियो, त्यस्तो त्यस्तै हो ब्रदर। के गर्दै हुनुहुन्छ हजुरहरू आजभोलि? भेटघाट नभएको पनि थुप्रो भयो हाम्रो त। हो नि दिनेश स्यालहरू। हजुरहरूको जोडीलाई चाहिँ मान्नै पर्छ कडा। ए घर अफिस चौक गर्दै बितेको छ दिनहरू। त्यही त भेटघाट पनि भएको छैन। अब अर्को सन्डे पनि बिजी बिजी नै छु क्या अरे म त। स्याटरडे सन्डे छुट्टी हुन्छ। यसो फुर्सद भए बेलामा खबर गर्नु न वाट्सएपतिर, म आइहाल्छु कुदेर फिलिली। आजभोलि त पुरा उयो गरिराखेको छु कि। अनि शनिबार आइतबार छुट्टी हुन्छ। अनि कफीहरू बेच्ने। ए अहिले चोकतिरै हुनुहुन्छ? हुन्छ हुन्छ, ओके ओके ब्रदर, ओके। फ्री भएको बेलामा यसो उयो गर्नु न, बोलाउनु न है। ए हस् 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 ब्रदर, हस् हस्, हुन्छ। फ्री भएको बेलामा मलाई यसो खबर गर्नुहोस्, म आउँछु। हस् ब्रदर, गुड नाइट। टेक केयर ब्रदर। त्यही भएर बिजी छु भनेको पनि। अनि finance, are we less likely to bury ourselves in debt? God no. Are we less likely to bury ourselves in debt? अरे bury भनेको गाड्नु, yes. Buried भनेको गाडिएको। कसरी बिर्सिन सक्छु म? How can I forget like that? More likely to save for a rainy day, prepare for retirement, have realistic views about what money does and doesn't do to our happiness. I have seen no compelling evidence. Most of the reason why I believe is that we think about and are taught about money in ways that are too much like physics, with rules and laws, and not enough like psychology. The emotions and nouns, nuance, nuance भनेको के रहेछ हेरौँ न? nuance, nuance.
कस्तो मान्छे रहेछ भाइ यो सुत तिमी सुत न सुत भनेर मान्छे पनि अनि मलाई काम आयो स्पेलिङ एन
U
यु
A
ए
N
सिइएस
yes, nuance CE मात्रै होला.
सुस्मा सुस्मा सुस सुस्मता
सूक्ष्म तरिकाले होला नि.
सुस्मा के क्षमता
सूक्ष्मताहरू भनेको त्यसको एकदमै सूक्ष्म कुराहरू के सानो सानो कुराहरू.
पढ्न पनि नआउनु मलाई त यस थप्नु त्यहाँ यस थप्यो भने हरो हुन्छ के
सूक्ष्मताहरू
छैन
सूक्ष्म अन्तर के
भिन्नता सूक्ष्म भिन्नता महीन फरक
सूक्ष्म भिन्नता अन्तर
भिन्नता देख्दा भइहाल्यो
सूक्ष्म भिन्नता ह्यान्डराइटिङ पनि ह्यान्डराइटिङ चाहिँ मेरै राम्रो हो यार.
अनि राम्रै लेखेर नि
अस्ति झन् त्यो इन्सपेक्सन्सको लागि आउने त्यो केटीको नेपाली ह्यान्डराइटिङ कस्तो राम्रो लेखेको कि त्यसले.
बोलो बोलो
यस्तो राम्रो कि क्लिन अनि यस्तो राम्रो लेखेको.
मेरै राम्रो
Most of the reason why I believe is that actually I have seen no compelling evidence. Compelling evidence. 11, 12. Compelling पनि हेर न. Fascinating. Compelling evidence. Most of the reason why.
COMPARNG
LLING. COMPE. LLING. Most of the reason why I believe is that we think about
बाध्यकारी
बाध्यकारी. अर्को हेर न.
मनमोहक बाध्यकारी अत्यन्तिक प्रभावकारी
प्रभावकारी.
बाध्यकारी के बाध्य बाध्यता भन्नु
प्रभावकारी भनौँ न.
अत्यन्त प्रभावकारी विश्वास योग्य
विश्वास योग्य. नहल्ला न हो.
हल्लिन पनि नपाउने अब म
अनि यहाँ मेरो पनि तिम्रो जस्तै भयो क्या ह्यान्डराइटिङ.
तिम्रो जस्तो भयो मेरो कस्तो छ र
तिम्रो नि बुझिने त छ न त. उयो डिक चाहिँ लाउनु नजानेर नलाएको हो.
होइन मैले बिचमा लेखेको छु नि त त्यही भएर माथिलेबाट डिगाएर लाउनु मिलिहाल्छ नि.
तल चाहिँ मिल्दैन.
मिल्छ तर यस्तो सिधा जाँदैन.
त्यसो भन. Most of the reason why I believe is that we think about and are taught about money in ways that are too much like physics, with rules and laws, and not enough like psychology, with emotions and nuance. साइकोलोजी भनेको विथ इमोसन्स एन्ड नुएन्स अरे क्या. सूक्ष्म तरिकाले हामीलाई सिकाएन अरे क्या. हामीलाई पैसालाई कसरी सिकाएर भन्दा रुल्स एन्ड लको हिसाबले सिकायो अरे क्या. त्यसैले एन्ड द्याट टु मी is as fascinating as it is important. Money is everywhere. पैसा सबै ठाउँमा छ. It affects all of us. यसले हामी सबैलाई असर गर्छ. And confuses most of us. Confuse पनि गराउँछ हामीलाई. Everyone thinks about it a little differently. It offers lessons on things that apply to many areas of life, like risk, confidence, and happiness. Few topics offer a more powerful magnifying glass that helps explain why people behave the way they do than money. It is one of the greatest sources on earth. My own appreciation for the psychology of money is shaped by more than a decade of writing on the topic. I began writing about finance in early 2008. It was the dawn of a financial crisis and the worst recession recession भनेको के रहेछ हेर त recession recession हेर न
Spelling
CE
RECE
SSION
SSION मन्दी आर्थिक मन्दी भन्छ यता
Monday worst recession in 80 years अरे to write about what was happening. I wanted to figure out what was happening, but the first thing I learned after the financial crisis was that no one could accurately explain what happened or why it happened, let alone what should be done about it. For every good explanation, there was an equally convincing rebuttal. Rebuttal भनेको के रहेछ 13 14 REBUTTAL rebuttal
खण्डन
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 convincing rebuttal. Engineers can determine the cause of a bridge collapse because there's agreement that if a certain amount of force is applied to a certain area, that area will break. Physics isn't controversial, it's guided by laws. Finance is different, it's guided by people's behaviors. And how I behave might make sense to me but look crazy to you. The more I studied and wrote about the financial crisis, the more I realized that you could understand it better through the lenses of psychology and history, not finance. To grasp भनेर 14, 15.
CRASH
I know grasp GRASP. To grasp why people
समात्नु
to grasp why people bury themselves in debt, you don't need to study interest rate. You need to study the history of greed, insecurity, and optimism. Optimism भनेको त के पो थियो
उस गर्नु हो कि त्यो एक्ज्याक्ट नआएको अप्टिमाइज
ग्रास्प भनेको ग्राब गर्नु समात्नु
होइन
के त
समात्नु के थियो यार मैले बिर्सेँ GRAPE
GRASP GRAP ग्राब होइन जे
के भयो फोन मेरो त रिसमा जान्छ
Dear valued customer, we hope you
समात्नु एउटा चाहिँ बुझ्नु दुइटा लेख्नु न समात्नु र बुझ्नु
बुझ्नु अनि के अरे भर्खरै अप्टिमिजम ओपिटिआई
यो मैले अझन् के आशावादी
हो त है एमआइएसएम अप्टिमिजम भनेको आशावादी
त्यो त अगाडिमा पनि लेखेको छ त
त्यही भएर त सोधेको त लेखिसकेको थियो हामीले तर बिर्स्यो नि त अप्टिमिजम To get why investors sell out at the bottom of a bear market, you don't need to study that math of expected future returns. You need to think about The agony of looking at your family and wondering if your investments are imperiling their future. Are imperiling Wikipedia 16, 17.
IMPER
I
I
IMPER
IAO SM
ILING.
IMPERILING
Imperiling
जोखिमपूर्ण
जोखिम जोखिमपूर्ण. Impelling their future. Wondering if your investments are impelling their future. I love Voltaire's observation that history never repeats itself, man always does. It applies so well to how we behave with money. In 2018, I wrote a report outlining 20 of the most important flaws, bias, biases, and causes of bad behavior I have seen affect people when dealing with money. It was called the psychology of money, and over 1 million people have read it. This book is a deeper dive into the topic. Some certain passages from the report appear unaltered in this book. What Are You Holding is 20 chapters, each describing what I consider to be the most important and often counterintuitive counterintuitive intuitive intuitive features of psychology of money. Counterintuitive भनेको के हो र त?
काउन्टर एकै ठाउँमा हो मेरो फोन त ह्याङ भयो
17
स्पेलिङ
18
हुन्छ
COUNTERITU IN and INTUTIV.
TUITIVE
Yes.
विपरीत
TUITIVE. विपरीत
विपरीत
विपरीत. Counterintuitive features of the psychology of money. The chapters revolve around a common theme but exist on their own and can be read independently. It's not a long book. You are welcome. Most readers don't finish the books. They begin because most single topics don't require 300 pages of explanation. I would rather make 20 short points you finish than one long one you give up on. On we go. So cute. Finish now, 7 minutes baki. No one's crazy. Your personal experience with money make up maybe 0.01% of what's happened in the world, but maybe 80% of how you think the world works. Okay. Okay, now.
जानलाई साइडमा लगाउनु के गर्ने हो सबै त गर्नु